Hi, good people. Most welcome. Today is another day, another episode for Psychology Fridays. And last week we were talking about toxic relationships with my partner Christine. And we thank God that the responses we got were overwhelming and encouraging. And they keep us to know that we're on the right track to encourage and change. And surely we've gotten very positive feedback. So karibuni sana as we want to talk about the red flags in a relationship. Karibu sana Christine.
Thank you, Joyce. It's always a pleasure to talk about these things each and every Friday because it's helping someone somewhere, and that is our goal and our target. That even if one person can learn something from one clip,
Yes.
it's still a target for us, and it's something that that encourages us to continue doing. Because every other day, if one person changes a perspective, then so many other people will end up learning a lot from the clip. So I'm glad to be here again today.
Yes.
And continue the part 2 of the toxic relationships today.
Yes. Last week we were talking about the toxic relationships, and so many people found themselves not knowing that they were in a toxic relationship. And the beauty about it is today we're going to focus on the red flags. What are the signs and things that you see to know that you're in a toxic relationship? So Christine will briefly also engage us in that and the red flags that to look out for to know that.
Yeah. I just want to highlight some of the red flags in a relationship. Like one could be, of course, the first big thing that we need to talk about is communication.
Yes.
If communication in a relationship is not good, then it's one of the red flags. For example, if someone used to text you and then they stop texting you, they stop calling you, they become all of a sudden like a busy person.
Yes.
And
Yes,
most of the time the relationships begin in a very high note, where people hata kulala ni shida because someone is texting you.
Yes.
Yeah, they keep calling you. Are you asleep? No, you end the call first. No, you end the yes. So when that starts becoming a change,
Minimal in a reduce.
yes, then you can start asking yourself, why is the communication no
Going
longer
down.
there? Yeah, even if this person was busy, this person will always find a way to communicate to
Yes.
you, regardless of where that person is and how busy they are. They can sneak in a text and say, hey, today I'm a bit busy, but I will keep you posted maybe in the next 1 hour or 2 hours of what I'm doing. So communication, it doesn't mean that someone has to call you throughout the day or text you throughout the day. No, but that person also, is willing to communicate to you or from the other end, like what is happening, because that is what keeps a relationship, by the way. Without communication, even in a marriage, it will become a problem.
But Christine, if you look again deep into it, communication in a good way, because again there's communication where someone wants to know what you're doing, what you're up to.
Yeah.
It's like sort of like stalking you.
Yes.
It is still communication, but again you need to watch out for the red flag, because this person is looking not for the good, it is for the bad, for their own gain.
Yeah.
Maybe for their own,
or to take control over someone.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you're controlling this person, without telling them directly that you're controlling them.
Exactly.
Like unafanya nini sahi, uko wapi, uko na nani,
unaongea na nani,
mbona nimepiga simu yako, uko busy.
Or they listen to your background. What is going on?
What is going on? Why are you in a noisy place? Communication is meant to be positive in the relationship, like to just keep the other person knowing that you're thinking about them, that you
mean well
as well. What are you doing? Are you healthy? How was your night? All that. And
then also, Christine, ukiangalia, if you look at it deep also, when this person is doing that, it is a red flag comes in, because when you're giving the information, it's subconsciously. You are not knowing that this person wants information. You won't realize. So that's why we are here, to raise the red flags and acknowledge this is a red flag. When someone is asking, where are you? Uko na nani? Unaongea na nani? Kwa nini saa hii hujafika kwa nyumba? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this at this time? So it's still communication, but it's gagging you and sort of choking you up.
Yeah, so when it comes to that point where you feel like it's choking you, then now that is when you ask yourself, or even that now maybe I'm in a toxic relationship, because this person takes over, like it's like you're captive to them.
Yes.
Because hata communication yake is not like knowing how you're really doing, but it's more of
supervision or power.
Yes, it's like supervision, more of that. But so that is one of the red flags that one needs to look out for in a toxic relationship. I think last week we had mentioned jealousy. Yes. Jealousy is good at some extent in a relationship. It is not bad. Because when you love someone, there's that jealousy peer, but a healthy one. But now there's jealousy that just chokes you to, like, it's not normal.
It's not normal.
The person does not want you to talk to anyone. It's like you cannot have friends. When you're happy, it's like, mbona umefurahi leo sana, and for example, and I'm not around.
Or when you're with people and you're so happy, they don't want that and they start throwing tantrums.
Yes.
And they want you to go home. Maybe you're in a party, you're enjoying yourself. Then they tell you now it's time to go home, and you're wondering, the party has just started.
Yeah, and you want to enjoy yourself.
Yes.
So there is a level of jealousy in a relationship that is okay, because it makes the relationship function. Because pia ukijali mtu, pia there's that protective
you don't want that person
out
to be with others.
Yeah, it's not like that you're jealous in a bad way, but it's kind of like you're protective.
Actually, the word is protective.
Yeah, I think that is the word to use. You're protective of your partner in that relationship. Again, another red flag that people will look out for is rebound. Many people do a rebound. You're in one relationship and it ends, and you get onto another one very fast. It's like, okay, labda kulikuwa na mtu ulikuwa unaongelesha on the side, and then now you choose to fully put your focus on that person because this other person has left.
Yes.
It's a red flag for me, because you are going to that relationship with the wrong reasons. You're going there to comfort yourself and to just try and it's like, I don't really care, but you really care at the back of your mind.
Yes.
A normal thing to do after a breakup in a relationship is for you to take time out.
Time out is very healthy. In fact, mostly, Christine, on that note, I've engaged with so many couples.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many people whose relationship are broken. One thing I always tell them, take time out.
Yes.
Time out is good to find yourself,
yes,
to know maybe where you went wrong,
yeah,
so that even when you enter this other relationship, you know yourself.
Yeah.
You know what made this other one fail. You want it to succeed.
Yeah.
Because again, just joining another relationship is not the answer to life.
And again, when you are in a rebound relationship, you'll always feel like hata ule mtu mwingine ndiye alikosea.
Yes.
You're not the one on the wrong. And probably that relationship actually ended because of the many bad things that you also contributed to in that relationship.
Because it takes two to tango.
It does. And you taking out your time will make you realize, as you said, the things that you need to change,
yes,
the things that you need to work on, for yourself even for your healing. You know how they say time heals?
Time heals.
So that is why you need that time out, because you need to heal as an individual before you move on into another relationship. Because you will go into the next relationship with a baggage. Yes.
And then another flag that you also need to, because we've talked about communication, stalking is another red flag.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it even
the other one.
Yes.
And also another red flag when you're looking at a couple, whenever even they go out, the guy or the lady, they don't want you to talk to someone, not even they are overprotective.
Yeah.
That again is not healthy.
So now that will end up looking like it's an obsession.
It's an obsession,
yes,
which is another red flag.
And that one is a big one, because now when someone is obsessed with you,
yes,
hey, a lot of things can go wrong.
Many things. In fact, that is the bulk of toxic relationship.
Because you will not talk to people, you will not eat out with other people.
Yes.
Basically, your relationship with other people utakuwa separated.
And one thing, sorry Christine, one thing, they cut off your social network.
Oh yes, they do. And that's another very big,
So the moment they cut off your social network, so you cannot relate even with your parents. I've had people tell me that their spouse tells them not even to go and visit their parents. Until I'm like, really? You can't even go and visit your parents. You can't go and visit your family.
You have no friend.
You have no friend. And we have also instances where someone would even call those friends using your phone, pretending to be them.
Or even sometimes even in a relationship where even people have not gotten married yet, you have a boyfriend and they take, you know, like captive of your phone.
Yes.
To a point that when your friends call, he's the one to receive and say, Joyce, how you call? You know, and you know Joyce is right there, but he doesn't want you to even talk to anyone else apart from him. He locks you in the house, whether it's a weekend or a weekday, or even ukiwa kama ni job, you are in a rush 24/7
going home
to run, you know, home before he gets home, even before you. And then now you wonder, you see, now that is obsession.
It's obsession.
And you know that one, the way you said they cut off your, you know, the people around you, now you become isolated.
You become isolated, and at the end of the day,
and you become now isolated. That is where abuse becomes.
And now at the end of the day, Christine, I can surely tell that person who is in a toxic relationship, they'll eventually leave you because they don't care about you.
They really don't.
They really don't. And even if someone is calling, they're like, who is that calling you? Who is calling you at this time?
Yeah.
You know, it's not enjoyable anymore.
Yes. So that's when you start isolating someone and you make that person become an island, it's like saa zile unashika kuku uchinje. What happens? You're focused on that one chicken.
Yes, and you isolate it.
And you isolate it, unaikimbiza kabisa ikiwa peke yake. Ukiishika ni kuichinja. Hakuna options, hiyo ndio ilikuwa goal. And that is what happens sometimes in a toxic relationship. You're you know, like an extrovert. You love people.
Yes.
You like interacting with people. You like going out. You get into a relationship and it's like something happens.
Something happened to it.
You no longer talk to anyone. You no longer call people. You are only in your house. You don't talk to people out there. Nobody knows your well-being. Now, sasa hapo ndio mtu anajua now they have finally achieved their goal.
And Christine, even those people go to an extent, even your place of work. The time you leave your place of work, why today, kwa nini leo ulichelewa? Normally you leave at 5. Where did you pass through?
And other people will wait for you at the door.
At your place of work.
Atakwambia niko mahali.
Kwanza wale wanakuja anakudrop na anakuchukua.
Si mbaya kudropiwa na kuchukuliwa.
Yes.
But there is a place pia, you know, you just know it's
crossing.
Not healthy.
Yeah.
Like sasa mtu akiwa anasimama kwa mlango yako anakwambia, by the way, I'm waiting for you so that we go home. He doesn't want you to have communication out of a circle, you know. He wants you to be alone, and the moment you're alone, sasa hapo ndio mtu anafanyanga Kenya anataka. They might start abusing you, and already because you're isolated, you have nobody to talk to about the abuse. They might be verbally abusive as well, emotionally, physically, you know, psychologically, and you might end up being in depression and all that, and nobody knows about it because number one, simu yako imechukuliwa na mtu mwingine. Number two, you are cut off from your friends and you have stayed for so long without talking to them. Now wewe ukipigia rafiki yako out of the blues, you've never talked to that person for months, and then you're like, Joyce, I'm in a very bad fix. Someone will start first saying,
for long, yes.
So why do you need me right now when you're in trouble? So that is the problem of being isolated in a relationship. It's good for your lady or your man to be protective of you, but again, kuna boundaries za kukulet also, because so you continue being yourself in the relationship.
The relationship.
Yeah, you go visit your friends, they visit you as well. You go for lunch, you have
social network.
You have your social network with you always. But hii sasa yenye umewekwa kando, if anything happens to you, then it becomes very hard for you to communicate to anyone. So that's another big red flag.
And that's why I also said from the beginning, it just doesn't happen. It starts pole and grows and grows, and it gets to a point now it's too huge. You want to come out, but you cannot come out.
Yeah.
But then I think that's the reason for us to be here, to make you aware, because the decision to stay in or to come out or to stay in is a personal decision.
Of course it is.
But the beauty is you now know.
Yes.
You are empowered, you are enriched, you know, and now you can set your boundaries knowing that in this relationship I was in an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, but I did not know. Yeah. And Christine, we also need to highlight, most people don't notice because it is not violent. It is not physical violence.
Yes.
So it happens slowly by slowly.
Yeah. Abusive people as well, then they have their own cycle.
Yes.
Unajua, someone might beat you up today and buy you a car tomorrow.
Yes. Compensating
for the abuse. What unafikiria huyo mtu ataongea?
You won't know.
They will say, oh, by the way, his way of saying sorry was to buy me a car.
And I needed a car, and so...
I needed a car. And then unakaa kidogo, another incident happens. He beats you up mpaka unalala hospitali. And then he builds your mansionette. And
really?
then, that is how other people end up.
It is true, by the way. It is so true.
Unashindo, you're burying someone who was okay.
When they were not okay.
Yes. She had a car. He had a big house. And you wonder what really happened in that relationship.
This couple looked
Will
okay.
Will people ever suspect that it was abuse that led you to that?
No. And especially if you're an introvert and you don't share.
And again, you're isolated.
You're isolated already.
Yes. So sometimes, watch out even in these small relationships. Leo, your boyfriend beats you up. Tomorrow he takes you to Galitos. Now because they just don't take you. They might take you to Java or wherever they'll take you as a way of saying I'm sorry to you.
And I'll never repeat it again.
Yeah, I'll never repeat it again. But inaendanga escalate. The sad thing is it will not stop there at one beat and then that is it. It advances. And you can see it going. Next time anakupiga, anakufanyia vitu zingine, that you don't even... I don't know. The unspoken things that even people go
and I think that's why many people suffer. And Christine, you said at times it can lead to depression.
Yeah.
Not at times.
It actually
eventually it will lead to depression because here you do not have a social network. You do not have anyone you can confide in. This person has confiscated your things and knows your every move, so that you do not have a social network. They even go to an extreme of even going to employers. They can go because they want information, and therefore you do not have a life. You're like sort of like a prisoner in courts.
Yeah.
So eventually at some point, if you have no one to confide in, sioni utakuwa too depressed. And this person has achieved his goal or her goal.
Oh yes.
Yeah. They have achieved because that was their end goal.
Yes.
So that's why we're here, so that you don't get to that level of depression. Yeah. Because again, it is easy to enter, but coming out of depression is not as easy.
I feel like anytime you see a red flag, talk about it.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, if someone hit you today, please let them know your feelings about, what he has done.
Yes.
Because there's no need unachapwa, unanyamaza, or someone even verbally abuses you and uses very big words towards, telling you.
And demeans you.
Because at the end of the day, even those verbal abuse will make you feel less of a person.
Yes.
Self-worth inaenda, esteem inaenda, confidence goes away, and then now you cannot even stand in front of people.
Because they've already instilled fear in you.
Yes.
You've lost yourself.
Oh yeah.
Until even when you stand, you can't stand and say anything.
You can't. Because who else will hear you? You'll always be wanting to hide, behind people.
And then you will say, I've done for you everything. What is it you're lacking?
Yes. And relationships is not about how much you want to do for the other person. But then how much does this person, feel happy around you and growing around you? Because pia, jealousy inakutana many ways. Your spouse gets a good job, you become jealous. Yet, even you're in a relationship, instead of being that number one cheerleader for that person, you start becoming, another person, become even violent. Like, hey, sasa umepata your position, unaanza ku. And someone is not at kuringa. It's actually for the growth of the two of you. And
exactly.
And as a person, someone is also growing. And I think another red flag is actually not having a supportive partner.
A supportive partner. And just to highlight on that also what Christina said, I was in a ladies talk and they were asking, especially maybe when the lady is earning more than the man, and the man feels inferior and uses the inferiority complex to sabotage you to also feel the way they are feeling. And someone asked that question, and my answer was, I do not have control on how you feel because I'm earning more than you. if anything, the way you've said, it's a plus for us.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're going to get outside, it's going to benefit the whole family.
Yes.
So how you deal with it really matters a lot in how we can handle it. Therefore, I think, Christine, you're just right in saying that we need to come out and respect the other person to grow well.
I think in this vlog, we have actually mentioned a few red flags. And I think people can pick one or two from there and know exactly that what now constitutes an unhealthy relationship. We will look into how you can get out of it and how you can actually deal with a toxic relationship, because it doesn't mean that it's the end of everything. Last week I think I said clearly, you might not change the person, but you might change the kind of situation that you're going through by seeing a therapist and all that. So we'll talk about that next week. So I hope that this blog will make someone learn a few things here and there, to pick out things that they have gone through, and the things that are actually happening in the relationship that you didn't know are red flags. So I will just say communicate always to your partner, because that is the only way out in some of these things. But then with that, I think you can take it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope with all this information we found something. You will get one or two things. And one thing that I also want to say, that Christine, even the people that, let's say, maybe who are doing those things, maybe they are not even them aware that they are doing them. So by us bringing awareness, we'll sensitize them to now know your boundaries. It's just like when you have an issue. Maybe I have an issue of maybe bipolar. I can know the triggers. I'm able now to know this is the triggering points. These are the. So the moment you're made aware, you now start working from a knowability point of view and like not knowing. And then again, the aim for us is so that you can have a healthy relationship and stop having an unhealthy relationship. What do dietitians do, Christine? Dietitians tell you how to eat your meals well so that you can take care of your body. And the portions. And so we also come to tell you how you can live your life well in a healthy relationship and how you can well relate with the people around you. And at the end of the day, Christine, we are not the beneficiaries. They are the beneficiaries. They have healthy relationships and they thrive and they grow. God bless you. See you again. Bye-bye. Thank you.